what I do.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my WWE Hall of Famer co-host, Mr. Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good today, man, and I'm real excited today, and I'm certainly happy, man, and honored. We have a guy on here today, our special guest, and a man that I had the opportunity to share some of my career with. And I'm real excited that he's here, and I'm talking about none other than the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And Mark, I never had a chance to tell you this, but I want to let you know this, that I don't know why they put me with Mark Henry. Mark Henry didn't need no manager. Mark Henry could talk. Mark Henry had did so many accomplishments with the Olympics and all this stuff, you know what I mean? He didn't need anybody. All he needed was Mark. And for him to accept me and let me manage him, then that's what I wanted you to know. I really appreciate that, Mark. And thank you so very much, because I didn't help you. You helped me.
Well, I'm glad that you feel that way, but I tell anybody that'll listen, I got a chronological order of my education in wrestling. And Tom Pritchard was the first one I started training under. Then I left and went to Canada for a year and a half, and I trained under Leo Burke, who just passed away last week. Unbelievable coach and trainer. Stu Hart. I used to go over to the dungeon and watch guys shoot, because I just was entertained by watching people shoot on each other. And Stu asked me, did I know how to fight? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay. And there was a guy there named Rodney Blackbeard. He was one of Bad News Brown's students, judo guy, and about 240 pounds. And he said, okay, well, I want you put this headgear on. You're going to spar with Rodney today. And so I put gloves on, and we're in there kind of boxing around. I could box because I grew up boxing, but that motherfucker took me down, and nobody ain't never take me down in my life. And he was like, I thought you know how to fight. And now when you get on the ground with a wrestler, they know how to keep you on the ground.
Yes.
And they're working to make you tired so they can get you in something and set you up. And Stu said, you don't know how to fight. And he's like, you just like the rest of these wrestlers. None of them can fight anymore. Owen and Brett could kick all their asses. and so I came back to America, and then I had Rip Rogers. I had Jim Cornette. I had Danny Davis. And the guys that I work with, Nick Dinsmore, Rob Conway. And then when I came back to WWE, that's when I had Teddy. And Teddy don't look at it like that, but between him and D-Lo, and Ron and Godfather, guys in the Nation, that was like master's class. I had learned the smaller route, but Teddy and D-Lo and the Nation people put the finish on me. They put the polish on the car. And, I owe Teddy as much thanks because, working with Rodney Mack, I got to see Rodney work, like singles, and Teddy would be pointing the stuff out.
Yep.
Hey, Mark, pay attention to this. Like, remember, you gotta run in, you gotta jump in this spot. Like, teaching you how to pay attention to when your spot came up, when your time. So, like, I learned a lot from you. You don't even realize.
I think it's funny, too, because I remember the first time I saw one of the promos of the two of you working together was when you were in the ring and Teddy was trying to suspend you from SmackDown, I think it was. And you weren't having any of it. And Teddy's just steadily poking his finger in your chest over and over again to the point where I thought you were about to kill him.
He wanted to do that his whole career.
The only time you can sit there and poke his finger into your chest without getting killed. Of course, there's live TV, so you'd be in trouble. Mark,
I'm a bully to big guys.
I said, when I got back to Gorilla, I looked over at Vince. I said, thank you.
Mark, you've played a variety of different type of characters, or your Mark Henry character has undergone many changes over the years. Is there one of those characters over the years that you enjoyed playing the most?
Oh, I mean, Sexual Chocolate was the most fun.
Yeah.
You know, like I got to go to work and laugh. I would go to work and I wouldn't have no stress. I wouldn't be worried about nothing.
Yeah.
It was because I knew that one, I wasn't gonna take no real ass whooping. And it was designed around comedy and theater.
Yes.
And you know, like that was, and the people that I was working with, like during that time, I gave China life.
Yes, I was about to ask you about that.
Life. And then I started working with Mae Young, and that was, man, I'm telling you, you talk about master's class, you know, like you start learning the business when you work with people like her. And all the people that I wrestled on during that time were elite of the elite guys.
Yes.
And some of it was when Vince wanted to give somebody a night off, then they would work me because I wrestled Ric Flair, like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. Man, I wrestled the cream of the crop, the best of the best. And a lot of that was because of the fact that I was a night off in the ring. It was easy to sell everything I did. And when I put my hands on people, I didn't kill them. I didn't hurt them. And you know, like there ain't nobody in the history of the business to say, man, Mark Henry fucked me up. Nobody.
What was it like working with Mae Young?
It was incredible. Like
yes.
I rode in the car with her like 2 weeks, and I just couldn't do it no more.
Now, why is that?
Her and Moolah, like they had to stop every like hour because they had to go to the bathroom. and they wanted to eat after the show. And Teddy know me, I like to get in the car and drive.
Yeah. And
bro, we wouldn't get to the hotel sometimes at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Ooh.
And I just like, you got a 3-hour drive after a show. The last thing you want to do is go to damn Fridays and eat a meal when you got to drive fucking 3 hours.
Yep.
And getting sleepy and stuff. And, you know, you have a hotel set up that at least 2 or 3 times I drove with them. I wanted to pull over and just get a hotel, the first one I saw. You know, you get full, man. You can't be driving like that.
No.
And, but I gotta go pee.
They old school, and you couldn't get that out of them. That's the way it was back in the day, and that's the way they were. They wasn't going to change their stripes.
But I heard the best stories in the car with Mae and Moolah.
Yes, you did.
And Moolah, you know, she admitted to me a couple of times, I might not always did everything right, but what I did to protect girls. I didn't do stuff to hurt nobody. There were people that had worse plans for people, and I tried my best to protect them. And Mae told me one time, she said, you know what? I used to work with Mildred Burke and golly, I can't think of the woman's name now. There was like 3 really elite Black wrestlers during that time. And they all had to ride together because they treated the women the same, whether you was black, white, Asian, Indian, they treated all women like shit. And Mae was a hard ass, and she got in trouble a lot because she can only hear that shit for about 5 minutes before she kicked one of them in the balls, try to gouge somebody out. I don't know if you heard any of her past, but
no, I've heard she could be rough.
Bro,
ask Bubba Ray Dudley about her.
She used to carry a pair of pliers.
Oh God.
They would they were like, why you got pliers? She said, because I'm gonna pinch somebody and leave a mark.
Woo.
When your mentality is to scar somebody, that means women used to carry ice picks.
Yes.
Like ice picks and like tools and shit you find in the shed, because nobody expect nothing. But the intention.
Yes.
Man, that's crazy.
We were doing rehearsals one day, and Bubba Ray Dudley walked up to her, and he was supposed to punch her or hit her or something. And she looked at him. She said, "Son, if that's all you got, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you." Okay, I'm telling you right now, and that's exactly what she did to him.
That's because she wanted you to treat her just like anybody else. I've heard stories about her. She wants you to lay it in. She does not want you to treat her like she's a woman. She's a wrestler.
Billy said that on the air.
Yeah.
We do shows together all the time. And he said that. He's like, man, Mae told me that if I don't lay it in, that she is not selling.
Right. And Mark, since we're talking here, man, let's talk about some of your accomplishments. You're doing a lot of things now. Yes. And first of all, let's talk about Jacob. Gee, I'm so excited and happy for him. I don't know what to do. Because here's a young man that I watched from a little bitty baby. I watched him grow all the way up to where he is today. And I'm just so thrilled for him. Mark, talk about Jacob here for a minute, man. Will you please?
Jacob, he's 18 years old now and an accomplished all-state wrestler. Came in 10th at the Nationals this year. He's at the University of Oklahoma wrestling now. A lot of famous pro wrestlers come from University of Oklahoma. Steve McMichael and Jack Swagger, and the first one, you got to go all the way back to like Danny Hodge. And, the history of Oklahoma wrestling speaks for itself. And Jacob wants to be great. And he loves wrestling. He's got a great memory. He loves the history of it. He's one of the strongest kids in America. He squatted like 650 pounds.
Wow.
Like 650 pounds. Bench is close to 400 now, if he haven't gone over 400. You can go on his YouTube, not YouTube, but Instagram. He did a sled push with 1,000 pounds the other day.
Wow.
And man, that's stout.
Yeah.
That's when you're starting to get there.
Well, you were hearing a lot of news too that Jacob has got some interest from WWE. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, he signed an NIL deal for 3 years.
Explain what an NIL is to those who don't know, Mark.
Jacob, he's basically, while he's in college, he'll be doing social media stuff. He'll be doing camps, learning to wrestle under the WWE umbrella, going to their jewel events and, helping with community efforts and so forth. And, but it's a legit bona fide contract. He'll make a little money, but that's not the point. The point is to learn to wrestle and to, give them the opportunity to have access to you when he does decide to wrestle full time. And, there's nothing that he wants to do more than be a contracted have a booking agent, booking contract to wrestle with WWE. So,
and I was telling Mark
I'm very
before
proud
the
of
show.
it.
I was telling Mark before the show too. I've had the opportunity to meet Jacob in person. We were at WrestleMania, which was in California. It's been a couple of years now, and I had got up on stage to say hello to Dave LaGreca, to say hey to him because I was in town. And as I'm going by the table where Mark is sitting, I knock over his drink. I can't tell you.
Kick my Sprite over, Teddy.
But I still say I had a little help in that
It
bump.
was delicious.
Yeah.
But man, Mark gave me a look like I will kill you. And I turned around. And I said, I am so sorry. I went with Jacob to go get you another drink. And Jacob was laughing about it. He goes, oh, don't worry about him. He's a teddy bear. But he was so nice and he was so well mannered. Like I said, when we first started the show, before we even started recording, he's such a great young man. And I know you got to be proud of him, not just because of the fact that he is what he is, but he also in his schooling, his athletics, the WWE.
He's a very good student.
Is there a point, Mark, where you think there's a chance we might see the world's strongest man still have the last name Henry?
Well, I don't know if he'll be the world's strongest man, but he's going to be the best Jacob Henry that you're going to get. And yes, he never wanted to walk in my shadow. And I told him, I said, well, that's unfortunate because my career has been like a mountain that casts a big shadow. And the only thing you can do is be a light and be bright enough that you don't get drowned out by the shade. Yes. And he's doing a hell of a good job at that.
Before we run out of time, because we are coming up on time here, I do want to bring up All Caribbean Wrestling. You're now involved in that, I see, where you're doing quite a bit. Can you tell us about that group?
Yeah, well, I started working with them about a year and a half ago. I took over booking and helped them negotiate contracts with the government and ministry of the Caribbean so other companies can't come in and do shows. As a Vince McMahon learning tool.
Yes, sir. That's it.
So now we're doing shows. I actually talked to WWE about working with us and doing some shows in the Caribbean with us. I just brokered a deal to do a show with MLW, the All Caribbean versus MLW.
Oh, cool.
So we got that brewing. We got a show coming up on the 29th in Jamaica. I enjoy doing what I want to do. I didn't want to work for nobody. I'm in the process of working on something that's as big a deal in pro wrestling as there has been in the WWE since the inception of AEW being made.
And thank you for saying that, Mark, because that's what I'm explaining. I want to work for me. I ain't worried about no job no more. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying the rest of my life. So thank you for saying that. A lot of people, they just don't get that part of it. They really don't.
You have to make yourself valuable. And
yes.
You got to know your
stay relevant.
Yeah.
Right. And Mark, I guess, Matt, we say we're all running out of time, but Mark, I know you're involved with something brand new. We talked about it at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling this past weekend. Tell us a little bit about that before we go.
Well, I mean, I'm in the process of getting a bunch of companies together. And I always felt like that companies don't work together very well. So I'm kind of being the conduit between companies. And, you see TNA now working with NXT, which, I just got a sick feeling that they worked out a deal because WWE might have creeped in there and got under their books. But that's a whole nother story. But what I'm doing is that at 100%, brokering deals with different companies. Going to put everybody together, and we're going to do it in the Caribbean, and it's going to be spectacular. This is going to be the biggest thing since AEW's inception.
So we'll be looking for that in the future here. Also, we got like 4 minutes here, so I'm going to bring up two more quick questions, Mark. You've worked in both WWE and AEW. What are the differences of the locker rooms of the two groups?
In some capacity, the newer companies, they have people that don't want to be overshadowed by people that came in.
Yes.
And it's just backwards thinking. Hopefully they'll get that rectified, but that starts at the top. And
right,
like if they don't get it together, then I feel like that they're not going to do as good as they can. I wish them well. I don't want them to go away because it'll hurt the boys. I want the boys to have leverage. So I pray for AEW success for the simple fact that I want all these guys to realize that we're all working for each other, and the companies are just who pays us. Like
right.
Your loyalty should be to the person that life is in your hands. So every step I take in the ring, that's who I work for. I work for the guy. And, that mentality needs to come back.
One more quick question. I'm looking at you right now, and I'm seeing that you look like you're in pretty damn good shape here, Mark. Even looks like you may have lost some weight since the last time I've seen you. Is there an opportunity? I know you said in the past, I don't want anybody to put a hand on me. I'll hurt them if they do. Is there ever a chance we'll see Mark Henry back in the ring?
Call the police.
Yeah, call the police.
Your ass going to jail if you mess with me.
Is there a chance we get to see you one more time in the ring?
No.
No, not going nowhere in the future.
No,
yeah.
Man.
You're happy where you are now, and I don't blame you whatsoever. Mark, it's been a blast, and I wish we had more time, but we are running out of time. But we certainly appreciate you coming by and being on the show today.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man. Y'all got my number. Just hit me up.
Anytime.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. And I wish you good luck. And tell Jacob I love him.
I will do it, man.
All right, that's it. This has been Road Trip After Hours. I'm your host, Mac Davis. That's WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long and WWE Hall of Famer and World's Strongest Man, Mark Henry. We'll see you again next week.
Holla.